Hey guys, how's it going? Hobo Yeti here. Today I wanted to talk about getting older and being homeless. It's definitely it's hard. I was homeless 5 years ago. Uh, well, maybe six when I was 49, and it has gotten exponentially harder for me to do the same things that I did 5 years ago today. I'm 55, gonna be 56, and I don't know. I was talking to a homeless buddy of mine, and he brought up some good points about getting older when you're homeless. Like up until you're about 50, you're good to go. You know, you can do what you can maintain. You can kind of, excuse me. Uh, but after 50, like 50 to 55, it's like for every year that you're homeless, it's like 2 years. It's that much harder on you. 55 to 60, it's like three times harder on your body, on your spirit, on your motivation, everything, right? And then like after 60, it's just it's like a 5 year difference in time where 1 year is like being 5 years homeless for somebody else, just because it's, you know, you're living outside, right? And you're in the elements. During the summer it's not as bad, but like during the winter it really started taking a toll. You're in the cold, you're sleeping on the ground, and you're doing everything on the ground for the most part. So there's a lot of up and down. Whereas like if you're, I guess, the same age and living inside and have that constant temperature, whatever you have your AC heat set on, you're sitting on a couch, you're going to a bed, you're not really sitting on the floor. There's not as much up and down. But also like you're carrying a backpack with your valuables, and it's a heavy backpack. It's not pleasant, but everywhere you go you're carrying this heavy backpack. You're doing a lot of physical. There was a bus canceled and I had to walk 4 or 5 miles yesterday, and it was just like I was able to do it. I carry around a cane because I have like this trick knee almost. I'm not sure what it is, but like every every now and again, maybe every 20th step or something, my right knee, I'm not sure if giving out is the right word, but it gets super weak, and I like take I like go down with it. So I have my cane to bypass that. But after I've walked like more than 2 miles or something, it becomes like an every other step kind of thing. I've got back problems, I've got feet problems, I've got knee problems. And that's not just aches and pains. Like these are things that prevent me from living kind of a normal life. I guess if I was in a house, or in an apartment or something, it wouldn't be as hard. It wouldn't be as much of a problem, I've got some physical issues, and then I've got some mental issues, right? Some mental illness issues, and it just makes it hard. It's harder, like when I first became homeless this time around, I was like, well, I did this 5 years ago. I can do this. You get a 10, you sleep in. How hard can that be? But I didn't realize that 5 years later it would be exponentially harder than it was from 5 years ago, right? So it's just more difficult. You're breathing in cold air, you're sleeping on the ground, and that's not to say that there's not an issue of like the solitude, the loneliness, that gets to you. I try to keep busy. I try to keep my mind out of the present. I've mentioned it before. Download videos, I'll read books, listen to books, play games, do whatever I can. But like I was able to stay a couple of nights at that hotel a couple of months ago because of a donation, and the thing is after a couple of days inside, you start feeling good. You're eating right. You're sleeping in a safe and secure area. You're not physically compromised and having to do things regardless of that. And the longer you are inside, or out of your tent into a decent place, the more healthy you can be on a daily basis. And last week I took a spill. I had to get in here. I had to kind of go over a guardrail and down like a 5 or 6 foot embankment or whatever. And it was at night and it was wet and I fell. And the thing is, even if you're out in the world, and you're 55 and you take a little bit of a spill, it's an issue. It's not like when you were in your 20s and oops, I fell down. Not a big deal. Nowadays it's, bones crack and, it's like getting into a car crash, right? Like I did that and I sat there and I was like, okay, I had to take off my backpack because it was too heavy for me to stand up with it all. I had to pick up the bags, groceries and stuff, and then I got everything and I realized I had this, you can't really see, it's healed a little bit now, but I had all these bumps and bruises all over my body. It was just like going from a standing position to falling. It wasn't like I was in a car crash or anything, but even today, a week later, I'm still feeling it. My elbow, up my arm, I got bruising and all up down there and stuff. It's just harder, and then you take that and you add the mental illness, depression, and the hyperthermia, the anemia, and it all just crashes down on you. How people comment on my channel that, well, when I was homeless 20 years ago, what I did was I just got a job and got out of that situation and for whatever. And you know what? I've been homeless in my life before. I was able to get work. I was able to, get myself out of the situation. The problem is the older you are, the harder it is to really make any kind of changes, affect any changes. Energy plays a big part. I've talked about that before, but it's like your pool of energy. Like, let's say it's, in your 40s, let's say it starts out like 75%, right? You have 75% of the energy that you can spend to do this, and that. As you get older, that energy goes down. It's natural. The problem is when you're living out of a tent and, you're spending your energy just to live, right? Like I've got to clean my tent. I've got to do grocery shopping. I've got to bring everything out here. I've got to prepare for the cold. I got to sleep in the cold. I've got to do this. I got to do that. Whatever. You're using that limited amount of energy that you have compared to 20 years ago when you had plenty of energy. Now you've got a lot less, and you're planning your day for that. And I don't know. It's not the same. If any of you are, there's kind of a thing out there that people are talking about, and, people are fully expecting to be homeless in the next 5 or 10 years. According to the national numbers on the websites, I've read that, 3 times as many homeless are going to be homeless, in 5 years, right? There's going to be 300% increase. But the thing is like people that are like living in cars and stuff, that are still working, they're homeless, but they're not like they're not going to food pantries, and they're not getting food stamps or whatever, and they're just trying to live. And they're not actually being recorded as homeless anywhere. So I believe the numbers are very skewed and not realistic. So, and you feel it in the economy. Like, I can't keep going like this. It used to be that, people that were irresponsible and whatnot they would live in a place that was above their means, and they could, they would live paycheck to paycheck. The problem is due to the fact that, everything's unsure, the cost of housing has gone up so much. We're not able to live in, and we have become these people that are living above their means. The money that we're making, we're kind of living on tomorrow's paycheck, next week's paycheck, the week after, and it's the only way that you can really live. And so a lot of people are just like, well, I want to be homeless, and and they might be younger folk too, but people my age, over 50, are thinking about becoming homeless, and like, how am I gonna survive out there? Obviously, being prepared, and they'll watch my videos and be like, okay, how to get a free phone, how to scope out a stealth campsite, how to prepare for it. There's definitely things that you can do to hedge your bets so that when you become homeless, you're more prepared, or at least mentally prepared. Maybe have a couple $100 that you can throw towards some gear. That's a good level of preparedness to be in. The thing is age plays a big part. If you're over 50 or over 55, the longer you're homeless, the older you are when you're homeless, the harder it is physically. And then let's talk about getting work. Let's talk about getting a job. Okay, first of all, this is me. Well, I need to shave my head at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it. But I got my white hair. I'm not able to wash my face as often. I try to do it every other day as I can. But basically, I've got kind of a weathered old man face. Somebody who's been living outside. It takes its toll. And so when I'm like, I can't just apply for a job that I think I can do or whatever. First of all, they're all entry-level jobs, right? They're entry-level jobs, and you're not going to ever make enough money at those entry-level jobs to get a place. And it'll ease your burden temporarily, but you're not going to get into an apartment with an entry-level job working 40 hours a week. This is not a way that can happen. I guess the problem is really just when you're old, you got white hair. I can shave. I've tried shaving my beard, my goat, everything, and I've got these. I got loose skin now, and the jowls and the wrinkles, and it's harder to get a job with that exterior that I have. But in addition to that, I have issue. I can't bathe as often as I would like. My clothes aren't always super clean. I try to maintain sort of a cleanliness, but I may not look homeless, but what kind of jobs can I apply for? Fast food. I can't work in a hot kitchen. I can't do like construction. My history is computers, so I can do that, but usually that's an at-home kind of situation. I don't know. Like, if you're applying for a job, though, I've applied all around here, and I'm just not the kind of capable that they're looking for. And so and you end up applying only to places where you see old people working, right? Like I'm 55. I don't consider myself old, but in looking for a job, you got to go with what's out there. And if you don't see any old people working, then they're probably not going to hire you. There's no point in putting an application. You go to Safeway or Fred Meyer's, be a bag boy. What else can you reasonably do? And the older you get, the harder it gets, and becomes harder. And then you have to realize that you having that job isn't going to get you out of the situation that you're in. You work in that 40 hours at a grocery store, making what, $18 an hour, times 40 minus taxes. You're still not making enough to get an apartment, so you're still stuck. And that's what happens to a lot of us homeless that are out here is you get older, and if you haven't set up a nest egg for yourself, a place to a parachute to land when things went bad in your life, you're kind of just stuck in a tent with no options. And it's hard, it's different, it's not the same as being homeless when you're 40. It's not the same at all. And I don't know, I think it's something, if you plan on becoming homeless or you know that that's a possibility, obviously you can try to prepare as much as you can, but it's a dead end. Being homeless is a dead end. If you can do anything else, I would suggest not letting it get to a point where you're living in a tent in the woods. It's because the older you get, the harder it gets too. I've been out here almost 2 years now, and it's not getting any better. I don't know how to affect change. I don't know how to, I can't do the things that I did when I was 45 and homeless. I can't. It's a different scene. It's a different makeup. I look older. I can't get the work that I have in the past. The market's gone down. I'm kind of stuck out here in the middle of nowhere, and just trying to get by, and so prepare yourself, prepare yourself. If you have to end up homeless, just know that things are going to be harder, and I'm doing the best I can. I don't know what else I can do, right? Just keep on going. Anyway, I hope your road's a good one, and if you're homeless, I hope it doesn't suck for you. Take care.